The contentious FATCA bill, that's the FATCA bill, finally passed in Trinidad and Tobago. And in sport, the WICB faces criticism from veteran right-hander Marlon Samuels. I'm Nicole Best, and this is the Caribbean in 10 for Friday, February 24. I'll be back with the details after the break. Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. After a 5-month battle between the government and opposition in Trinidad and Tobago, a substantially amended FATCA bill received the support of the entire parliament last night.
That this House agree with the committee's report on a bill entitled An Act to Repeal the Tax Information Exchange Agreements Act and replace it with a new Tax Information Exchange Agreements United States of America Act, which would make provision for the implementation of agreements between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States of America, providing for the exchange of information for the purposes of taxation, the validation of the sharing of personal information held by the Board of Inland Revenue or financial institutions, and for related purposes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any against? The ayes have it.
Just before 8, all 39 MPs present voted for the passing of the highly contentious Tax Information Exchange Agreement Bill, which will bring TNT in compliance with the U.S. Foreign Account Taxation Agreement, FATCA. It was passed with amendments in several areas. The legislation enables local financial institutions to report to the U.S. Internal Revenue Service on accounts held by U.S. clients. That will be done via Trinidad and Tobago's Board of Inland Revenue. Having crossed the first hurdle in the lower house, the legislation must now be debated in the Senate. But Attorney General Faris Alrari said after last night's debate that he expects the opposition's support there as well. Still in Trinidad and Tobago, a gay rights activist is suing the state over laws that criminalize sex between consenting homosexuals. In his lawsuit filed in the High Court yesterday, Jason Jones claims that Sections 13 and 16 of the Sexual Offences Act, which criminalizes buggery and serious indecency, contravenes his constitutional rights to privacy and freedom of thought and expression, in addition to being in direct contradiction to this country's international human rights obligation. The Trinidadian-born, who is based in London, also contends that the legislation opens him up to public prejudice and ridicule because it labels him and other homosexuals as criminals. A date for the hearing of the constitutional motion lawsuit is yet to be set. Jones said he decided to file the lawsuit due to his personal experience as a homosexual in Trinidad and Tobago, including him being disowned by his family, forcing him to migrate to the United Kingdom. In Jamaica, a former government has been the subject of death threats that's a government minister, following her suggestion that recordings of incarcerated dancehall artists Vybz Kartel and other convicts should be banned from the airwaves. Police said they were investigating the threats made on social media against Lisa Hanna, the opposition People's National Party spokesperson on youth and culture. Head of the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Branch, Assistant Commissioner of Police Police Clifford Chambers says a risk profile is being conducted, and based on the outcome of that, police will determine whether they will increase the security assigned to her as an MP. The opposition party said it is pleased police are treating the matter seriously and is expected that it will be investigated speedily. Vybz Kartel, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, is currently serving a life sentence for murder. During a discussion on a local radio program yesterday, Hannah questioned whether corruption was involved in the recording of songs by the jailed DJ, and she suggested that perhaps artists who are convicted should not have their music played on radio. The Grenada government is moving to ban the importation of styrofoam and plastic as part of a proper waste management strategy. Health Minister Nicholas Steele says he intends to take a bill to Parliament to impose the ban, as well as new legislation regarding recycling. He said the first piece of legislation will be taken to the Parliament next month. Steele says Grenada is currently way behind others in this regard. His comments came as Tourism Minister Clarice Modeste Kerwin disclosed that the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association has already adopted a policy of not using styrofoam. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next.
Caribbean integration has been on the books since independence more than a half a century ago. But regional unity has failed on many levels, and there are so many stories to tell why. Join Jerry George and the Gilbert sisters on Time to Face the Facts, Sunday, February 26th at 8 p.m. on Carib Vision, as the sisters tell their story about a humiliating Barbados experience. Again, that's Sunday, February 26th at 8 p.m. on Carib Vision. Also streaming live on Time to Face the Facts show Facebook page, Time to Face the Facts, about the horrors Caribbean nationals face as they move around the region.
Now, speaking of Carnival, soca's top 2 names have finally collaborated. That's right. It's been something that fans have been wanting, and really, it's finally happened. Machel Montano, Bunji Garlin on one big song. And that song is raging like a wildfire around the Caribbean. The thing is called Bushead.
The blues, they belting like they want to bust my head. No matter what they do, me.
Veteran right-hander Marlon Samuels has criticized the West Indies Cricket Board over its inflexibility regarding the controversial eligibility rule and said it is time to compromise with players. Samuels was ruled out of selection for the 3 one-day internationals against England next month after failing to meet the criteria for selection by playing in the entire regional Super 50, which wrapped up last weekend in Antigua. He told regional sports network Sportsmax it was confusing that the WICB had funded his recent bowling test overseas, so his action could be ratified by the International Cricket Council once for selectors to then rule him out of the selection. He said it was the WICB and not him or the ICC who paid for his bowling. Samuels questioned why the WICB could not come to a compromise and allow him to play in some games in the Pakistan Super League and then against England as well. Well, that's Caribbean in 10 for today. Join us at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Do have yourselves a very good afternoon.